Exhibit 74. Do you see it?
No, she doesn't.
Oh.
It's not on here. That's. Yeah, it takes a minute.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This was sent to you. So Sean Hawkins called you at 9:24 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You called him back at 9:27.
Correct.
You had a 5-minute phone call.
Correct.
And then in that phone call, he texted you the picture with it was drawn out, and he emailed you this original picture.
Yeah, he texted me the modified one, and then later emailed me this one.
Later is at 9:32.
Yeah, like after I asked him for it.
You looked at it.
I did.
Okay. You told us yesterday you found it, I think your quote was, a little concerning. What struck you about this?
Originally, when I saw the modified one, I was kind of angry at my son because we just talked about his missing assignments in geometry and his E the night before. Then when I got this one and opened it, it was concerning. I honestly thought the guy on there was a poor drawing of Batman, the way the thing and the cat. I thought it was a cape. I didn't know.
You thought that was a cape?
I did. I didn't look at that
closely.
closely.
What did you think of the gun?
I thought it was a gun.
Yeah. What about the fact that it is identical to the gun that you got him for Christmas a couple days before?
I mean, honestly, it looks like a gun to me. I didn't even notice.
Well, you took a picture of the gun. You posted it on Instagram. You know what it looks like.
I do, but I didn't analyze it.
You saw Special Agent Brandon's testimony. He described how it's identical. And you told us yesterday how your son was a good drawer.
He's a very good drawer.
Okay. What about the thoughts won't stop, help me? Did that ring out to you?
Yes, that was what was concerning to me.
Blood everywhere, and there's a bullet. And actually, you were the one who bought the bullets on November the 27th.
Correct.
You later came to learn that those bullets were used in the shooting.
I did.
Okay. So you said yesterday it was a little concerning. Yet, you told your husband, emergency in all caps.
Correct. That's why I left to go to the school, and I texted him.
And he wrote back, my God, WTF.
Correct.
And then you told him he was distraught about last night.
Correct.
Distraught's an intentional word you chose.
Correct.
Not sad. It's not a little anxious about school or his future. It's not talking about a video game. Distraught has a meaning.
Correct.
And you chose that word to send to him.
Correct.
So you went to that meeting. And this was November the 30th of 2021. And at that point, you'll agree with me that you knew prior to that day, the November 26th purchase day, that your son was wanting to get a 9mm. That's what you said yesterday.
Yes, I knew that they were talking about getting one because they had
Okay.
rented it in the past.
And you knew that he had shot one in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, and you knew that a 9mm is significantly more powerful than a 22.
I did not know that until I actually shot it.
Okay, well, your dad took your son with James to the shooting range when they visited in July of 2021.
Correct.
And they talked about how powerful the 9mm was because they rented one then.
Okay. I don't know.
Yes
if
or no?
I don't know if I was part of that conversation, but if it was, it didn't register to me.
It registered. Okay, you knew at the November 30, 2021 date that your son's friend had been taken without notice to your son.
Correct.
You said, I'm sorry, incorrect or correct?
I said correct.
Correct. And you knew that when your son's friend was taken, your son was extremely upset.
He was upset, yes.
He didn't go to school for a few days.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, if the school records show that he was absent for a few days after that, would you deny that?
I wouldn't.
Okay. And would you deny that he missed school because he was so upset?
I don't know if he missed school because he was so upset or maybe he was sick. I don't know.
Now, you told us yesterday and you acknowledged that that individual, that child, was like a second son to you.
Correct.
So he was the only one that your son hung out with?
Outside of school, correct.
Okay. Well, who did he hang out with inside of school?
He named some names to me. I've never met them before, but he told me some group of kids that he sits and eats lunch with and he talks to in class.
Did he ever visit their houses?
No.
Did they ever visit your house?
No.
The only other peer to visit your house was this student who left the state around Halloween 2021.
At that time, correct.
We're talking about that time in October, in September, in at least August, July, June, May, all of
2021, correct.
2021, thank you. Now, he left on Halloween, and you knew that your son was planning to hang out with him on Halloween.
Yes.
Okay? But his friend didn't show.
I had texted his friend's mom the day before trying to confirm if he was still coming over. And that's when we found out that he was driven to Wisconsin and taken to that school.
Okay, so you're telling us you found out the day before Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. But that didn't stop you and James from going to a Halloween party at the barn.
I don't believe it was on Halloween.
Oh, that's what Kira testified
It was the Friday before Halloween.
If there was a picture with a date stamp on it, would you deny it?
No.
Okay. And it didn't stop you from after you left that party without your son, you went to another Halloween party.
We did.
And your son was home alone at that point.
Yes.
So you talked to us a little bit about your son's hobbies in 2021. But in November of 2021, so we'll start with November the 1st, 2021, you know that those hobbies were non-existent. And I'll go one by one.
Okay.
So you told us about bowling.
Correct.
Bowling the team wasn't in session at that point in time, was it?
No, I think actually at that time he decided he didn't want to do bowling that year.
Okay, so he stopped bowling the
He
sophomore
did.
year.
He did.
And it wouldn't have been bowling season anyway.
I guess not, no.
So one hobby you talked about yesterday, that was not in existence in November 2021.
Correct, but we did still go to the bowling alley with him.
Okay. And you said that he worked, but would you be surprised to learn that he only worked a few shifts post-COVID?
No, not surprised at all.
Okay. So he wasn't at work every day?
No, he worked Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Saturday mornings.
Okay. But not very often.
No, not very often.
A handful of shifts post-COVID, which of course, March 2020 is when things shut down.
He was working on a weekly basis.
And you knew that he didn't have any friends?
That's not the right way to put it. I knew he had friends, but no, he did not have many friends.
You had never met another peer his age who he refers to as a friend.
He actually had friends that used to come over prior to 2021 that he was still in contact
We
with.
went through defense exhibits yesterday from 2019 to 2020. I'm talking about 2021, at least from the time period where he sent you a message that he saw demons in the house.
Right. In 2021, the only friend that came to our house was the one that was
Right.
on the thing.
So you knew to be true in November of 2021 that he had no peer support.
I don't know what he had in school. He told me he had friends in school that he talks to.
Okay. You never met him though?
No.
Okay. And he didn't have any clubs at school he was a part of?
No, not that year.
So you told us yesterday that your son wanted to design video games.
Correct.
Okay. He wasn't in a robotics club or a coding club at the high school.
He did take a coding class prior to 2021, and he was in a robotics after-school activity in middle school.
Talking about in 2021.
I'm just telling you, he's been in that before.
Yeah. Now, despite what you have called yourself as a vigilant parent and a helicopter mom, you never decided in at least November of 2021 to look at his phone.
No.
No. Okay. That's despite what happened in the spring of 2021, right?
What happened in the spring of 2021 did not concern me.
Okay. Now, the one thing that seemed consistent with your son, to you at least, is his desire to obtain a weapon. Is that right?
I wouldn't say that, no.
He had a consistent desire to obtain a weapon.
Not to me, he did not.
Okay. You didn't know about the 9mm?
Oh, I knew about it.
Okay. You didn't know about the 22s?
I knew about them.
And in fact, you posted on Instagram that he got himself a 22
Correct.
in June of 2021.
Correct.
And from that time up until the November 26, 21 purchase, he was wanting to get a 9mm.
I know him and my husband had discussed getting a 9mm. I'm not part of those conversations.
But you knew about it.
I knew, but not that he was so, however you described it.
I said he consistently had a desire to obtain a weapon.
I know they consistently talked about it, correct.
Okay. They didn't just talk about this is a gun, he talked about how he wanted the gun. You don't deny that.
Oh, no.
In November 26, you said you weren't there for the gun purchase.
No, it's not.
Okay. But are you telling us you didn't know it was going to happen?
I did not know they were going to the gun store that day, no.
Okay. But you knew that you were going to eventually get him a 9mm.
No, I did not know that.
Okay, so you're telling us that that was a surprise purchase to you?
It was a surprise to me that they went to the gun store that day.
Okay.
It was not surprising to me that they purchased a gun that day.
And it didn't upset you that they bought a gun?
No, it did not.
It upset you that they cut into your Christmas tree shopping time, but it didn't upset you that they bought a gun?
Correct.
Okay. And you told us that it was, in your words, James's responsibility to take care of that gun.
Correct.
Now, you don't deny that, at least according to the cell phone evidence, the photographic and video evidence, you're the last adult to have possession of that gun.
Correct.
Okay. You were with him at the range on November the 27th.
Correct.
You saw your son shoot the weapon.
Correct.
You saw him shoot the last practice round before the shooting on November 30th.
At the range?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
You saw how he stood.
Honestly, that didn't mean anything to me at that time until this whole case came about, and I've learned what a shooter's stance is. So,
He knew how to use the gun.
yes, he did.
Okay.
He's used one before.
In fact, he showed you how to use the gun.
Correct.
Okay. And the stance he took, you saw from the Oxford High School video, was the same. You saw that, right?
I don't know. I can't compare it. I don't know.
But you entrusted this responsibility. Will you agree with me that owning a firearm involves a great deal of responsibility and trust?
I do.
Okay. And you entrusted this responsibility to your husband, James.
I did.
If you look at Exhibit 423, that's the Facebook chat thread between you and your husband. It's pretty clear you didn't trust James with much. Would you agree or disagree?
Depends on what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, you didn't trust him to get out of bed on time.
Correct.
You didn't trust him to cut the grass when it was time to cut the grass.
He would cut the grass when it got to a length I didn't like. I didn't trust him.
You didn't trust him to update you on his whereabouts.
There's a reason behind that.
You didn't trust him to not turn off or turn on the Ring camera in your home.
Correct.
You didn't trust him to keep track of your son.
Oh, I trusted him to take track of my son.
In those messages that we'll see in Exhibit 423, asking him, where is your son, over and over and over again, does that signify trust or distrust to you?
That was when my son was walking home from school. Not that I did not trust my husband with my son.
Okay. And you didn't really trust your husband to hold down a job.
It's not that I didn't trust him to hold down the job. He had a hard time holding down one after COVID.
Okay. And in those messages, you are constantly asking him about work, how much money he's making, and what he's doing to obtain employment.
Correct.
Okay. But this is the person you entrusted with a deadly weapon.
I did.
Why did you buy the Patriot defense rounds?
Where are the? Oh, those are that's the ammo. That was the ones my son told me to purchase. I didn't know anything about it. I'd asked him, and he told me to purchase them.
So you told the jury yesterday, I think you repeated it again today, that the gift was for target shooting only.
Correct.
Okay. Yet you bought 100 rounds of ammunition,
Correct.
and you only shot 50 while you were there.
Correct.
And those 50, at least according to some statements you made throughout the investigation, you put somewhere.
The box of them, yes, I did. I hid them.
Now, on November the 27th, when you came home, you posted pictures of the gun and targets to your Instagram account.
Correct.
And then, according to location data, your location data, you left.
I think that's when we went. Well, I don't know. I must have, yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't deny that.
I don't deny
Okay.
it.
And your husband James was gone all day, according to his location data.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And you saw in the evidence that in a picture you posted, there's an ATF pamphlet on handgun safety for children.
Correct.
Did you read that?
I looked it over, correct.